In a recent month, the development of process automation through AI workflows and AI agents has progressed rapidly. A few days ago, I gave an SEO workshop for a company that is now trying to largely automate content creation. In addition, more and more channels from the US are popping up that focus exclusively on the topic of AI workflows and AI agents. So there is a lot of movement in the market, and this can be felt emotionally as well, because most people don't actually like change. But what is actually behind the hype? How fast is the progress really coming? And how will content marketing, SEO, etc. change in the future as a result of that? I would like to use today's episode to summarize the current status of the topic, not a step-by-step guide, but an outlook on where things can go. Incidentally, Alexander Russ from Evergreen Media inspired me for this episode, so let's jump straight in. My name is Robert Sigus and I support B2B companies with professional search engine optimization. And if you're a CEO or a marketing employee and would like to generate more qualified leads and sales on your website, please contact me at robertsigus.com for a free SEO potential analysis. Well, let's dive straight in with artificial intelligence in content creation. And there are basically three stages. And we have gone through the first stage in the past 2 years since ChatGPT was made available to the public in November 2022. Back then, we already published a video on our German channel on how ChatGPT and AI will change SEO in the future. I will link that to you up here. Since then, all of us have used generative artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT, SEO Surfer, and others to create our content. The topic of prompting also came up, and with the right instructions, we can now actually implement a large part of the SEO process and content creation with ChatGPT or Google Gemini today. So this is our SEO process overview, and all of those steps, maybe not the embedding steps, but the research and planning step, strategy, analyzing content, analyzing SERPs, so search engine results page, competitors, briefing, so getting all those information into a structure, HTML headline structure, writing the content, and also getting articles out, guest posts, etc. And in all those different steps, ChatGPT today plays a role which can help us to make this process simpler. But maybe you've experienced that problem too that now arise from that first stage. We have a ton of tools today. So the applications we use, they have recently become more and more. And I've just done the math here. For example, we use at least 10 tools just for the SEO process alone, half of which we pay for every single month. And I made this SEO tutorial for beginners once, and we have 10 tools here just for this video alone. And when I look, for example, into this YouTuber's tool stack, he's building AI workflows. He has a huge tool stack under every video that he uses and connects with each other. So the next stage will be the stage of AI workflows. And that means linking individual tools via interfaces and automation of these process chains. And when we talk about that, we talk about so-called AI workflows. And you can implement those workflows today with, for example, Make.com or Gumloop AI. Make.com makes it possible to create such a tool tree, which all of them are connected with each other. Gumloop, for example, is an automated tool which is probably developed for content creation. So this is more SEO based, and you can build those workflows with those tools. With these AI workflows, a lot of time is obviously invested in advance to set up such a process. But once this process is in place, the entire SEO process could virtually run by itself. So it can create a mapping, compare search volumes, translate if necessary, set up keyword sets, analyze them in depth in the next step, derive a briefing with HTML headlines, and then create the text from this. This would be the dream scenario. And with AI workflows, we would then need human control at the nodes and readjustments as necessary. So after every tool, after every step in that process, we could have a look, check it out, see if it's done correctly, have a look at the result, if that's also something that the process can work with. And in the end, we can also adjust, of course. Now, these processes, they can actually be mapped already quite well, definitely depending on how complex the use case is. And those are AI workflows. But how does the final stage look like? Well, the final stage in this process, this third one, will be the development of so-called AI agents. OpenAI, for example, presented its agent called Operator already in January 2025. An operator is an agent that helps with simple tasks, for example, research tasks or looking for a hotel. A good scenario here would also be to help, for example, looking for a manufacturer. If you look for a metal manufacturer, a company, a new supplier, then this tool could help you and help you research such a manufacturer, and could also help you with the new reasoning model, similar as depth research, for example, from ChatGPT. It could help you and give you follow-up questions like, what are, for example, the conditions when the material should be ready and shipped to you? What material do you need? What's the length? What the width of the material you need? So it could help you to find the perfect manufacturer. And AI agents should be given a specific task or an objective and then solve it independently, so without readjustments and interrupting the process in between. Now, to do this, they would have access to various tools, like, for example, they could link to Google, or they could be linked to a search tool, an SEO software like Ahrefs or like Systrix, and could use those softwares in order to resolve the objective. Agents work through so-called reasoning models, as I said, and that's similar to the in-depth search in ChatGPT. And they could also omit steps or tools if they find better solutions, so they don't need all the steps or all the tools you would give to them. You could, for example, give them the task to create an SEO article on a specific topic, so they would then do the keyword research themselves in Ahrefs. They would do the analysis of the content, the SERP analysis, the competitors analysis, put that all in Google Sheets. Maybe they don't even put that there, but put them somewhere in a meta memory or something like this. Then out of that, they would write briefings and headline structure. They would create the text themselves and ideally already put them online and just send you a message. Hey, Robert, all the texts are done now. They're online, they're live, and yeah, you're ready to go, basically. That would be the dream scenario for sure. But how will that change content marketing and SEO in the future? Well, probably like this. The scenario will look like this, most probably. And what about jobs and activities here in content marketing and SEO? Are the roles of a social media manager, of an SEO manager, of a content writer, are they still needed? Well, they obviously will fundamentally change by AI workflows and agents. And there's probably what I think a role such an AI process developer or an AI workflow manager that will be added here. And this person could then work closely with someone who has an understanding, an expertise of marketing, of psychology, and the respective platforms and search engines, for example. So a marketing expert who develops the process based on best practices, and an AI expert who makes the process work using a tool stack or an AI agent and very good prompting. This is probably the scenario. What about today? Because maybe you're thinking, well, that's all cool, but it sounds a bit unrealistic still, and it sounds a bit too good to be true. So we just have an AI agent, tell them, make the SEO tags, and everything will be easy and done and perfect. You're not entirely wrong with thinking it's too good to be true. So the revolution starts now? Well, yes, but not quite yet. Which is definitely starting now is the development of AI workflows and the first practical use cases for simple cases in SEO and content marketing. Writing ad tags, for example, writing simple SEO text, writing email newsletters, and accelerating social media posts, that's doable. However, complete automation is not yet available, at least not in a format suitable for everyday use and not scalable for large complex projects. So there are some problems and challenges that are currently still unresolved. And those are, for example, problem number one, the technical content of in-depth quality. So our customers are B2B companies from industrial background, and they have technical buyers, engineers, and technical experts as customers. So their websites are not simple online stores with 300 words of content on each page. No, we have technical content with technical data sheets with explanations from professionals. And the difficulty here is to get this professional content, this technical content done by an AI. This can, for example, be resolved through a custom GPT. So you can build a custom GPT. I made a video about that up here in German on my German channel. And through custom GPTs, you have the ability to get content from the company itself into a GPT and build from their own content. Problem number two are consistent results. So even without AI processes and agents, it's still not easy today to guarantee constant quality with tools such as ChatGPT. And this is what we saw in the past 2 years. The results were very different from one day to the next. And problem number three are the costs as well. Last week, I took a look at, for example, the tool Data for SEO. And it helps me searching search volume and asking for competitor analysis directly in Google Sheets, which is quite handy. But what I saw there, and what I came to my awareness is that every crawl of that tool costs me credits. And sure, with tools like Ahrefs, Systrix, keywordtool.io, also every crawl costs credits. But with AI workflows, the costs will be just as variable as the application itself. So crawling large amounts of data can quickly become expensive. And this is all more true for AI agents, because getting precise results requires an enormous amount of resources, which results in very high costs. And problem number four, the lack of experience and tools in companies. Industrial manufacturers, service providers, and retailers in particular are still lagging behind. And tool stacks are often predefined in those big companies and cannot be flexible expanded in larger companies with standardized processes. So it's not as easy to go to a company and say, okay, we need a new tool stack, we need this, that. It's just not possible for many companies. And I'm curious what you think. Are you already implementing AI workflows or even agents to your SEO and content marketing workflow? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know which tools you are using. And if you are looking for support in that area and want to start your SEO strategy, also let me know at robertsiegers.com, and I help you out with a free potential analysis upfront, robertsiegers.com, and I see and speak to you in the next video here on the channel. Have a great day.